Well, a warm welcome to this talk, Friday the 4th of October, the year of grace 2024. Now, I had heard a rumour that Moderna were offering children a large financial incentive, over £1,500. That's over 1,900 United States dollars to take part in clinical research, but I dismissed it as being non-credible conspiracy theory. But then I found out it was actually true. Hard to believe, but actually true. So I'm going to give you the evidence for that now. Now, I was alerted when I saw this article in the Telegraph here. Moderna under fire after children offered cash, money to test COVID vaccines. Telegraph. Company targeted 12 to 18-year-olds through WhatsApp with payments of £1,500, which I've just checked the rate. It's $1,968 US. The article says Moderna has been rebuked by regulators, and we'll see that term regulators in a minute. Moderna have offered to pay £14,000. That's $18,376. Now, I did check this. It's not £14 million. It's £14,000. £14,000. £4,000 more than £10,000. This is despite Moderna making $6.8 billion. $6.8 million in 2023. Moderna representative has sent a WhatsApp message offering £1,500 to children to be subjects in a COVID booster trial, basically a clinical experiment, and it's called the NextCove trial. Now, the offer was made by a paediatrician from an unnamed NHS trust. Now, NHS stands for National Health Service. So this is a paediatrician employed by the National Health Service who seems to be doing a bit of recruiting for Moderna clinical trials as well. Now, let's look at some of the evidence here. UK Prescriptions Medicines Code of Practice Authority, that's this group here. Now, this is the group that did the adjudicating. Now, this group is this one here, PMCPA, Prescriptions Medicines Code of Practice Authority. And we actually see here that the breaches were found, failing to maintain high standards, bringing discredit upon and reducing confidence in the pharmaceutical industry. And we can click here and get the full report. And obviously, as always, I put in the full link so you can check this out for yourself. This is what we try and do, try and chase things back to make sure we're accurate in what we're saying. This is the evidence where I want to be on that one. Now, click on that for the full report. Yeah, there's the full report. And here's the complaint here. A complaint was made on behalf of the Children's COVID Vaccine Advisory Council. I'll tell you a bit about them in a minute. So that's the complaint there. Now, this was the letter here. Hi all. Hi all. Hi all. How are you doing? This is a consultant paediatrician, we believe. Well, paediatrician anyway. Anyway, hi all. I'm, and then the name's redacted here, a paediatrician at named hospital research facility at the NHS. So this is a paediatrician. Why is this redacted? Why can't we know who this is? I don't quite see why that would be redacted. I'm not sure why. Presumably, it wouldn't be too hard to find out if you really wanted to. But anyway, we'll just go with the information that we are given here. Who is eligible? So we're currently recruiting, we're currently recruiting for the Moderna COVID booster vaccine study and inviting potential participants. Children aged 12 to 18 are invited. What's in it for them? £1,500 on completion of the study. So that's from this website. I mean, that's the evidence there from the UK Prescriptions Medicines Code of Practice Authority. Now, just who are these people here is kind of interesting. So this is the group there. This is their website. And when we go to there, about them, The Prescriptions Medicines Code of Practice Authority is a self-regulatory body which administers the Association of the British Pharmaceutical Industry Code of Practice for the pharmaceutical industry. So it's self-regulatory body. So this appears to be the pharmaceutical industry regulating itself. I must say, I kind of like the idea of that. Maybe I could self-regulate my own tax returns and reduce my taxation. That would be nice. I could self-regulate, and then on the off chance I was caught, I could find myself, I don't know, £3.50 or something for being a naughty boy. I could just give myself a completely preposterously low derisory fine that has no relationship at all to the amount of money I didn't pay the Exchequer. Now, that's just an example. I've changed my mind, actually. I'm not going to self-regulate. I am going to pay my taxes as normal. Be assured about that. And I'm quite fastidious about that. But it's just an example. Would it not be ludicrous for me to self-regulate my own tax returns? We have to follow external objective rules. Anyway, I digress. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, obviously. Now, so that is that group there. Anyway, ruled that the offer amounted to, and this is the self-regulatory body, and even they're saying inappropriate financial inducement. Yeah, I would say it's inappropriate, wouldn't you? Inappropriate. And we're not even going to start talking about the Helsinki Accords. Found the company had brought discredit upon the pharmaceutical industry. Dear me. Discredit upon the pharmaceutical industry. Now, that is consistent with this group here, UK Prescription of Medicines Code of Practice Authority. Now, this is this site here. Again, check these out for yourself. These are all public domain sites. Medicines for Human Use, Clinical Trials Regulations, 2004. And as far as possible, of course, I always put in all the relevant links which are there. Anyway, this group is saying UK Prescriptions Medicines Code of Practice Authority. They're actually saying that this was a problem, and a research ethics committee warned about the large amount of money that Moderna was offering. Voiced concerns it was much higher than would be considered reasonable reimbursement. The Medicines for Human Use Clinical Trials, this is the authority I'm talking about. What they actually said was it's prohibited. Prohibited means not allowed. For incentives or financial inducements to be given to children or their parents. That site there. Okay. Complaint was filed in the United Kingdom on behalf of the Children's COVID Vaccine Advisory Committee. Now, this is an excellent group here. Do check them out for yourself. It's over. So the Children's COVID Vaccine Advisory Council is an independent group of health professionals and scientists who have come together specifically to challenge the government's advice on the benefits and risks of COVID vaccines for children. It comprises round about 100 senior doctors and medical experts from public health, paediatrics, cardiology, infectious disease and many other specialties. And indeed, when you look at the people on that group, they are indeed a very, very highly qualified, highly experienced group of concerned professionals. So the complaint was filed on their behalf. And a little bit about the statement from this self-regulating group, who, well, you can decide how stringent they were on themselves or on the Moderna, the industry regulating group. On balance, the panel considered that this brought discredit upon and reduced confidence in the pharmaceutical industry. Moderna must provide a written undertaking that the practice will cease forthwith and pay for administrative costs. Now, Esther McVeigh, Member of Parliament, formerly of the All-Party Parliamentary Group on COVID-19 Vaccine Damage, she was mentioned in this article and wrote a really good adjunct to the article. She said this: a charge of £14,000 to a company that enjoyed a total revenue of £6.8 billion, 1,000 million in 2023 is hardly likely to make them think twice before breaking the rules again. I think the executives of Moderna aren't going to be too stressed about a £14,000 fine. Not only are the charges too small, so she thinks they're too small, imagine that. Thinks the charges are too small. £14,000 from a 6.8 billion revenue in 2023, but only when they come too late. There is a major backlog in handling these kind of complaints, with a recent case against Moderna taking the PMCPA 18 months to consider. Maybe the industry needs to put more resources into its regulatory body. The system is clearly broken and failing to keep patients safe from misleading information and advertising about medicines, according to Ms. McVeigh. The public's trust in healthcare authorities will only continue to be damaged unless meaningful action is taken. And then she writes actually a really good article, Corporate Interest versus the Public Right to Know. And Esther McVeigh has really been quite outspoken about a lot of issues to do with public health. One of the politicians who actually represents the interests of us minions, which is really quite refreshing. So thanks to Esther for that. It's time for real transparency in clinical research. She thinks it's time for real transparency in clinical research. Let me think about that. Yes, of course it is. Of course it emphatically is. The case details the company's inappropriate and unacceptable use of social media and big financial incentives to recruit healthy children into its COVID-19 vaccine trial. For me, the case prompts further questions about how and why Moderna's NextCove trial, that's the trial, was ever approved in the first place. The lady has a point that, in my view, should be answered. So there you go. I first heard that, I thought, no, it can't possibly be true. They can't be trying to induce children into trials with a £1,500 inducement. But it was completely true. And you know, £1,500, if you haven't got it, is a lot of money. Parents may be tempted to expose their children to the risks of the trial because of that money for the good of the family. It's if you haven't got it, it's one heck of a lot of cash. So that's the story. Sadly true. Hopefully someone will sort all this out pretty soon. But don't hold your breath. But for now, thank you for watching.